Greetings and welcome to Lesson 2.4 Box Plots. Here are your new terminologies for this lesson. Not very many of them, but still take your time to go through them. To create a box and whisker plot, we need some information. We need the minimum value, the maximum value, Q1, the first quartile, Q2, the second quartile, otherwise known as the median, and Q3, the third quartile. To find the minimum, we just look at our data and find the minimum value. So in this case, our minimum value is 59. To find the maximum value, again, we look at our data and find the largest value, which is 77. Our first quartile is the 25th percentile. I'm not going to run through trying to figure out how to calculate that. I did that in a previous lesson. But I do want to say when you do calculate that, you're going to get an indice of 10 point something, and therefore you're going to grab your 10th value and your 11th value, in this case 64 and 65, and find the average of those two. So the first quartile is 64.5. For Q2, you're going to find the 20th and 21st value, and they're both 66. So if you take an average of two values that are the same thing, it is that thing. So 66 is our second quartile. And for our third quartile, the values we're looking for are the 30th value and 31st value. And in that case, it's going to be 70 and 70. And then again, the average of two values that are the same is that same value, so 70. So we have all of our values now that we need to plot for our box and whiskers. So the first thing we need to do is draw a number line and mark those points on a number line as to where they would sit on the number line. Once we have our number line plotted, from the first quartile to the third quartile, in this case 64.5 to 70, we're going to draw a rectangle, going straight up from the 64.5 and the 70, and then connecting those two lines in between to create a rectangle. We can also, at this point, connect our minimum value of 59 with a whisker. So from the 64 line, 64.5 line, we're going to draw a line all the way down to 59 and draw a little vertical line just for the whisker part of it. And then we'll do the same for the maximum. So from the third quartile line, which is 70, all the way to 77, we connect those with a line, a horizontal line, and then a vertical line just to mark where it ends. We have one last thing to do, which is to mark our second quartile, our median. And how we're going to do that is connect the top and bottom of our box with a dashed line at 66. That's how you create a box and whisker plot. To have the TI-84 Plus create our box and whisker plot for us, first thing we need to do is enter our list. But starting, let's go ahead and clear out our list. So we'll go to Stat, we'll go to Edit, or we'll go to Clear List 4. And I know I have some data in list 1, so second 1 for the L1. And we're going to hit Enter, and there it's cleared. I'm going to go ahead and click on Clear just to have a nice screen. Next, we're going to do is enter our values inside our list, because we ultimately want the calculator to do the work for us in terms of calculating the max, the min, the first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile. So let's go ahead and enter our list by hitting Stat, Edit, and let's get our data and start plugging in our data here. So, oops, clear. It's going to be a 0, 5, 5, 15, 30, 30, 45, 50, 60. Oop, one more 50 I forgot. So I'll just slip that in there. 45 or 75, 110, 140, 240, and 330. Okay, now that we have our list in there, we're going to go to Stat and we'll click on Calculate. And we'll say one variable statistic. So either just hit 1 or enter. And our frequency list, our list is L1, no frequency list, and we want to calculate. Okay, we know our minimum is 0. Our Q1 is 15. Our median, or our Q2, is 50. Our Q3 is 110, and our maximum is 330. Now, we want to turn off our plot for now. So we're going to hit second, y equal, and we're going to say plot off, at least while we're working on developing our plot. We're just going to turn it off so we don't run into any issues or errors. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our plot, and we're going to hit plot on by hitting enter, but we want the type to be a box and whisker. We have a couple of choices. I'm going to go ahead and pick the 5th version, which is the box and whiskers. I know this because it also has the median right here. So that's the one that I want. And then I'm going to say for my frequency, I'm just going to say 1 because each one of these values in my list happens once. I don't have a corresponding frequency list. And then I'm going to press, let's see, zoom. And we want to set our zoom. And now that didn't do my box plot, but that's okay. Let me go back to plot and make sure that I selected the right one. And it doesn't look like I did. Maybe I didn't hit enter when I think I just kind of skipped over hitting enter. There, now it's selected it. And now I can say graph. There's my box plot, my box and whisker plot. And if I want to trace it, I can see my values. My median is 50, my Q1 is 15, my minimum is 0, and my maximum is 330. You've reached the end of this lesson.